That is the late, great Whitney Houston there with How Will I Know? And I'll tell you a little bit about why I picked to play that song before I speak to my guest on the line. Now, I'm joined on the line by singer-songwriter Nora Sanger, who I've been playing a track we will make it on the show for the last week, which is absolutely fantastic. So are you there, Nora?
Hi, Michelle. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Now, you will know the reason why I played Whitney Houston before I started.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was like, was this on purpose or is this a coincidence?
No, this is on purpose. I've read your bio.
This is awesome. Yeah, I bounced along here.
So tell us, you're over in Germany at the moment. You're just near to Hamburg.
Yes, I'm basically in the suburbs of Hamburg, so I feel close to Hamburg, and that's the music scene where I feel connected to, pretty much there.
And now, if we just go back to childhood, this is the reason why I played Whitney Houston, because she was a big influence on you. When did you first get that music bug and discover your own voice as well?
I first listened to Whitney Houston's music when I was like about 3 or 4 years old, I believe. My mom had the album, the one with How Will I Know on it. Yeah. She had it on tape in the car and she listened to it all the time. And I was just really amazed by Whitney Houston's voice. I loved her singing and I decided for myself that I wanted to do that too. Yeah. So and that's where that came from.
It is amazing.
I'm sorry?
I said it's amazing, because at that age, you'd have no concept of like really of fashion or what was in musically, but you literally just heard the voice and the voice spoke to you.
Absolutely. And I vividly remember that what struck me about Whitney was for how long she could sing. I was used to children's songs that are a lot shorter, the stuff that you sing in kindergarten or so. And I remember being so amazed by how long she could go on singing, that was the first thing that struck me. It's really funny as a child. Yeah.
And with your own voice, when did you realize that you could were you always singing long things on the radio?
Well, yeah, obviously one of the first things that I sang along to were Whitney Houston songs, but then also some other pop songs from the late 80s, early 90s. I remember compilations from my parents with like Phil Collins or Tina Turner on them. And I don't know if I ever had like an epiphany or a realization that was like, oh my God, I can sing, but I always wanted to do it. So I did it. And then when I was 14, I went to see my first vocal coach and she said I had talent. So that was it, basically. Yeah, but for myself, I wanted to do it. So I did it. And I don't think I cared much about whether I was good or not. I just did it.
You were saying there about vocal coaches. Is that something that you still do besides doing music?
I am a vocal teacher myself, actually. And also I started taking some vocal lessons again last year. I was not getting any coaching myself for so many years that I just felt like I wanted some new input, and it's really cool. So I love it. Yeah, I teach and I like getting taught, finding out new things about the voice and exploring new possibilities. Yeah, it's awesome.
Now, you say you're a singer-songwriter, mother, storyteller, late bloomer, and you said you're not 22. This is in your bio. You're not 22 anymore, and that's your superpower.
Not. Yes. Am I supposed to say something now, or is there another question coming up?
Just
okay. Yeah. It was just when I was younger, I remember when I was in my 20s, I was insecure. I didn't really know what I wanted, like what kind of music I wanted to do, where I felt comfortable, where I felt authentic. And I also, dealt with a few things that were maybe due to young age. I had a strong need to please people, which is confusing when you do music and you want to write something that everybody likes. Yeah. You can't do that. It's never, no one is, it's not like that. You just have to go for what you love, and then you will find a few listeners, hopefully. Yeah. So being in my 20s, I just remember a lot of, insecurities, a lot of confusions. And, now with more experience and more years, I feel a lot more self-confident and relaxed about my profession. And I enjoy that.
After your album Almost Golden, which you received rave reviews for, you took a 4-year break. So
Yes.
what was it like having that break away from music?
It was, well, at first, of course, it was kind of a bummer, even though, I mean, I was pregnant. I got pregnant. That was the reason why I went on that break. At first, it felt a little bit like a bummer, but then I was so into becoming a mother that I didn't really realize that I wasn't doing music. But then when my second child, my daughter, when she was about 1, I felt like a strong urge that I, wanted to return to making music. But in the end, I thought that break was a good thing because it allowed me to reflect on what I had done, to get new ideas, just giving it a lot of thought. And yeah, so I felt that I came back prepared, even though I hadn't written anything yet, but there was a lot of stuff in my head to start with.
How do you start the songwriting process? Are you somebody that's always writing lyrics down? Do you get tunes in your head? Do you pick up a musical instrument? How does it work?
Well, I don't have the one way that works for me. I sometimes I think of little bits of melodies with lyrics in my head, and then I sing them, into my cell phone as a voice memo. But most of the time, I do pick up an instrument. For me, it's the piano most of the time. Sometimes the guitar. And just improvise a little thing, try out a few chords, and most of the time then I get some idea for some melody and I start singing. Yeah, and sometimes I know in advance like what topic I want to write about, but sometimes I just go with whatever comes up and see if I can turn it into something.
Now, the album Almost Golden, which we talked about earlier, was that more sort of folk and a country album? And how has your music changed over since that release of that album?
Well, after my my maternity leave, basically, I found a songwriter and producer to work with. And the two of us, we tried to find a musical style that, would be true to me, but that would also, go in a little bit of a new direction. And so now it's, especially now with We'll Make It, I finally have this country flavor again, which I love so much. But Mark Smith, my producer, he thought that there was also a little like soulfulness about me that he wanted to acknowledge. So yeah, right now we're going for something that is in between, soul and of course pop, because we both like catchy melodies and that stuff. But and then also acknowledge that I love country music so much. So we're trying a mixture here.
Yeah, you've definitely got the soul. Definitely got the soul. It's a really hooky track when I first heard it. As I say, I always know when I like a song because I do frequently wake up humming tunes or singing along hook lines from the music that I play on the show. And yours, it was. I tell you, this is absolute truth. I started singing the chorus, and I'm like, oh,
that's awesome.
It's fabulous. It really is. It's a really good track. So We'll Make It. It's the Mark Smith, who is a renowned German songwriter producer. That's your third collaboration with him. How did this song actually come to be?
Well, I brought in a sketch for, I knew that I wanted to write about this topic. I wanted to write a song about, a relationship that had been going on for a while, because that was the reality in my life, or is the reality in my life. I'm with my husband now. We've been together for 10 years. And so I felt I wanted to write a love song, but not something about, falling in love, or that happens at the beginning of a relationship, but something, that happens down the way, basically. And so I had scribbled together a few lines, and I had written the music for the part that is now the verse. That was the sketch I brought in, and I thought that could maybe be turned into a chorus, but Mark was like, no, let's try a different chorus, something, you know, that's a little more upbeat, little catchier. And he basically came up with the melody to the chorus that is the chorus now, like right away. And then we were like, oh yeah, the parts go together. Let's go with that. Yeah. That was it. And then I wrote the lyrics for his melody. Yeah.
What is the best lyric that you think you've ever written? What's all the songs you've done?
My favorite lyric of all my songs is from a track called Lioness. Lioness is the final track on my album, Almost Golden. And I started writing that song, you know, very early on, I think in like 2005 or so. And then I finished it in 2014 for the recording session of Almost Golden. So it was almost, you know, I worked on that song for almost 10 years. And when I started writing it, I remember that I had no clue what I was writing about. I was spitting out a few lines and I liked them, but I really had no clue what they were about. But then those 9 years later, when I took the song back up and looked at what I had written, you know, I was older then and I had matured. I realized that I had been writing about, especially that, you know, sort of compulsive need to please people that I felt held me back in my early days. And I was like, wow, you had no, I mean, there was no intent to write that back in the day, but somehow it poured out of me. I didn't know what it was. And then when I looked at it so many years later, it just completely made sense. And I was like, oh my God, should I even dare to go out with that song and show that, you know, that side of me, which I'm not proud of, or which is also, you know, has to do with shame, maybe, I don't know. But I was in a way also so proud of myself that I did this, that I was like, yeah, I need to record this song. And it's one of my all-time favorite songs of my songs that I've ever written, Lioness.
Now, your new track will make it coming out on the 22nd of February. So you are all over social media. So do you want to give a quick shout out for your social medias?
Yeah, definitely.
So sorry, you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok. Have you got on TikTok yet?
I am on TikTok. I'm sorry, I didn't catch everything that you said before, I think, but now I got it. Yeah, I'm on Instagram and that's my favorite platform. So if you want to get a lot of updates and, you know, I play mini gigs there. I do live songwriting sessions there. So if you want to, you know, just get a lot of content from me, you should definitely follow me on Instagram. But I'm also on TikTok and Facebook a little bit. YouTube, of course, that's where you can see my videos. Yeah.
Excellent. And that's Nora Sanger, Sanger, which is a nice, good, strong name to remember.
Cool.
That's only one you out there. And is there going to be, and have you got a new EP or is it going to be a new album with this track on it? I mean, what's going to be the next thing?
I'm going to release 2 more singles, one in March and then another one in April.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take a vacation, which I'm looking forward to. And I have some ideas for, you know, projects that I want to tackle after that. I don't know yet if it's going to be an album or an EP. It depends on how much energy I have, because an album, it's a gigantic project. I mean, it's you know, it's from an artist's standpoint, it's perfect, and it's like, you know, because you can show so much and tell so much, but it's also a lot of work that goes into it. Yeah, so we'll have to see, but one or the other I'm gonna do, EP or album, in the second half of the year. Go
you, because you're a wife and mum too, so you've got your work cut out, and also a musician, which is a great amount of work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always feel like I don't get anything done. Maybe, so it's weird. Yeah.
Well, you got this track done. This is called We'll Make It. It's out on the 22nd of February.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's out on the, Michelle, it's out on the 11th. It's
this out on
Friday.
the 11th. Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why I've got the 22nd.
Only 2 more days. 2 more days. And then you can stream it everywhere.
Yeah, ignore what I'm saying completely. It's out on the 11th. Thanks very much, Nora. It's lovely to talk to you, and we're going to continue supporting the track, and hopefully when you've got more tracks, get them over and we'll start playing those as well.
Yeah, I would love that. I will definitely send you the new tracks over. And thank you so much for all your support, Michelle.
You're welcome. And we must say hello to Abby out there, because she will be listening to this interview.
Yes. Hi, Abby. Thank you. Thank you so much as well. Yeah.
Great. It's fantastic to talk to you. This is Nora Sanger with We'll Make It. Love playing this on Phoenix FM. Thanks so much, Nora. Take care. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Cheers.